A love like this.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another beautiful episode of Love Like This. I am Hoochie Daddy himself. Cheese. I just smiled in the camera. Orlando Roy. And sitting next to me is my beautiful, almost married woman herself, Milah Mapp. How are you, baby?
I'm good.
What?
Nothing. I just thought about how you cursed me out for introducing you as my partner.
Okay, well, we start off strong. Let's go. Let's get into it. Why?
I don't know, but that was unnecessary as hell.
Why do you call me your partner?
Because everybody else is doing it, so it becomes just like...
Exactly my issue.
No, you don't understand. When everyone else is saying it, it's language. It's like if I moved to London for 2 years, and suddenly I'm going to be like, would you like a cup of tea? It's just what happens. Everybody starts saying partner, then you're like, partner. It just like comes out automatically. Then we're at a space where it's like a bunch of like, you know, PC people, and so I'm saying partner, so I was like just telling a story. He's like, why the fuck do you keep calling me that? I'm like, I don't fucking know because everybody else is doing it. He's like, that's stupid. I'm like, well, what the fuck do you want from me?
You know, I always feel like partner implies either that
somebody's gay, like somebody's
or E&M or something.
Me too. Back in the day, I used to think that. I'm like, me and Erica used to have a conversation. One of our friends kept introducing her boyfriend as our partner. She's like, they're gonna think he's trans, and I was like, it's true. And then, but that's how I know. It's just they kept fucking shoving it down my throat. So here I am saying partner, and I'm getting fucking cursed out.
The reason why, one,
what is the fuck? Boyfriend, partner? What the fuck does it matter?
The reason why I was like, why do you keep doing this? And I got mad. It was because you said everybody's doing it.
I'm explaining to you why it's being shoved down my throat. And that's literally the reason why I've been doing it. Because I keep hearing it, and so it just comes out naturally.
That gets shoved down your throat that
but
you need to accept,
that Orlando is non-binary, then if you say partner.
They're going to think he's non-binary, but you know what?
You know? What the fuck are we even talking about here? The reason why was because, one, you're doing it because everybody else is doing it. And two, you went from calling me your boyfriend to this general term of partner.
It's not general. Yes. Everybody knows that's the new term. Everybody's doing it.
Everybody's doing it.
He literally cursed me out.
Partner is an umbrella term, right? There's specific
yelled at me. I was like, fuck you, okay? Fuck you, partner. You're gonna
partner.
I'm
with the partner. Howdy, partner.
Howdy, partner.
Howdy,
no,
partner.
you'd be fucking downgraded from partner to fucking this nigga I live with. You fucking yell at me like that again. Sorry, I just had a flashback when you were introducing me. I was like, did he just curse me out yesterday? He did. Motherfucker.
Every time you kept doing it, I kept saying, yo, what's with this partner shit? And you would just not say anything. You would just go to the next person.
Because
partner. And every time I'm like, what is with this partner?
Let me tell you something. Any other instance, this nigga's begging me to get with the program of the PCs and the terms and the fluids and the non-binaries, and I'm, bitch is really trying over here.
I feel there's a lot of things to remember.
It's a lot. I was so nervous at the party. I was like, I'm gonna fuck somebody's shit up for sure. But then he fucked somebody's shit up.
I fucked it up.
I just say they. Everybody's they.
But then if you call me they, I'm like, who the fuck are you talking to? I'll be like, who? I'm one person.
There's only one person.
And also, I was like, I was trying so hard to get it right at the party, and then I was like, people who I was right about, I was like, I think I fucked it up. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's not a he. I said he, and then I realized it's really hard to just generalize without saying anything. When you really try, like, oh, boo, you at some point, if you're talking to another person, you have to refer to the third person, and it's just really.
See, I got you, yo.
No, but what it was I was referring to the third person to a second person, and then they were there, and I was like, I'm gonna fuck it up, and I was like, yeah, he got the ice, and then I was just like, fuck it, you gotta just go with it because you already did it.
But see, you can say they got the ice, like in,
they got it. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
For
you're
like
right.
from the hood, I was like, you used to be like, yo, they got it.
Yeah, in my head, I was like
South Central everything.
I was trying so hard. So sorry, everybody at the party thinks you're non-binary. So. You'll fit in more. It's fine. I'm just kidding.
Now you'll fit in more.
I'm just joking. The truth is, like, I was telling Orlando this, like, the kink and I don't know, the lifestyle space is rather, they're on their shit, of their politically correct shit. So if you're not, they're going to be like, don't invite her. She said he. Don't invite those.
It's not that bad.
Don't invite them back. Don't invite
That
them
bitch
back.
over there disrespectful.
They don't respect shit.
No, they'll just correct you, or they honestly, if they figure you're not getting it, they just won't say anything anymore. They're like, okay, this motherfucker's stupid. Like, they just...
Well, shit. Well, we did have a great time Saturday at the party where Milah was disrespecting me all night. We threw a play party partner with Susia, hosted by Hoochie Mom and Dad. High five, baby.
Woo!
We killed the consent speech. The people seemed to have a good time.
That was the best part.
Wait. Let's take it back.
Bring it back.
Before we even get into it. Let's please introduce our guest. Because our guest was actually there as a vendor doing tarot readings, and tarot readings. I'm fucking up everything.
Just shut up.
Go ahead.
So we did have a party this month. I don't know when this comes out, for my birthday party. We had a plethora of cool people come out to help host the party, help make it perfect. And one of those people was our guest today. We have a very special guest. You've heard his voice already because he's here in the studio with us. He's a musician. He is a wizard. He is a tarot reader and just a cool guy. And he crept in my DMs, which I'm very grateful for. We have a lot of mutual friends, and we have Kaoz.
Thank you.
I should have asked you how you wanted to be.
That was perfect. I was like, I could give you all the names, but I usually go by the Fresh Prince of Darkness.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The Fresh Prince of Darkness. Well, welcome to Love Like This, my dear.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
He graced us with his gifts at the party. He was reading bones and tarot, and we did a reading yesterday at the house, but I was really happy to have you. That was God, because that's my type of thing. I was like, yeah, we do need tarot. You're right. Of course you can come. What the fuck? Why have we not had this?
Right. I was like, because I said, a lot of your friends are mutual friends of mine, and I was like, how come nobody told me about this? I already know a lot of people, and I saw you, and I said, I wonder if she needs a tarot reader. Yes, I think you need a tarot reader.
I'm like, we're hiring all these impact and kink people. We need tarot, goddammit.
Facts.
I really do feel like pleasure and sex go together. I don't know why. I mean, not pleasure and sex. The pleasure and magic go together. And I'm a witch myself, so I was very happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you. It's a form of alchemizing. Like, you're taking the pain and alchemizing it into pleasure. It's one of the principles of magic.
Alchemizing. Okay, that's why I did. That's why it makes sense.
So I wanted to ask, what, from your perspective, right, in your review, how did you feel about the party, my love?
I thought it was a great party. You know, I wasn't attending. I was throwing the party, so it's obviously I'm gonna have a behind the scenes outlook. But from a participant, it was great. The space looked really good. You know what I like about that space? There's a lot of nooks and crannies to be discovered. It's kind of like a little maze. I like that. They have like apparatuses. We had impact play. We had some people doing bondage. We had a massage therapist. There was a play area. There's an outside balcony for smoking because I'm a 420 ass bitch.
We had a fireplace.
We had a fireplace. DJ Lizzie Jeff was DJing, which was really, you know, it added perfectly. Her beautiful titties, you know, just was the perfect sprinkle on the space. And most importantly, I just love Black people coming around to be open-minded. But one of my favorite parts was everybody participating and dressing up. The men, the women. You know, Black people don't have a lot of space to like
be silly,
like
silly and express,
play in their imaginations. And so like seeing men and women just like, literally I wore wings and I refused to take them off. They like moved by themselves, battery operated. There was glitter and elf ears, and just, it was really nice. I love to see adults indulge in playfulness and childlike imagination, and everything came together really beautifully.
Oh, and Michaela's activation.
I missed it.
Yeah, I did miss it.
I was there.
You were there. So, yes. How was that?
How was it in your perspective overall?
Oh, man. So, from my perspective, I have been to many play parties, actually. And what's great about you guys' event was that it was for, you know, POC. There's a lot of POC people there. That was, like, my favorite part because usually it's a lot of white folks. Mm-hmm. And you can feel fetishized there, which I guess could be cool for some folks. I'm not super into it, but I get the vibe, I guess. But what was great was it was like a family reunion, but it was kinky, so that was kind of cool for me.
That was a really good way to describe it. Kinky family reunion.
Yeah, it was like the cookout, but you could get naked. It was sick. Like, and I really wanted to talk about the consent speech. It was so good.
Oh, thank you.
That's something like if you go to a play party, obviously everybody's gonna do it, but depending on how you set the tone, how the host sets the tone, is really gonna be whether the people actually adhere to it or not.
Yeah.
So if they just kind of, okay, this is the consent speech, don't touch each other, blah 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 blah, then motherfuckers get handsy and shit. But there was a thing that you said particularly where you said there will be no negotiations if you do something that is not consensual, no conversations, you're gone. Yeah. And the whole room was like.
P's and Q's
super quiet. And after that there was none of that. And like I had just been to an event like earlier in the week where I was getting all kinds of hands on me. I was like, please get on from
no
do that. I know I'm sexy, but
chill out.
Yeah. So, and that's what it's for. It's for the sexy people. And when you have a whole room,
protect sexy people.
Protect sexy people.
Yeah.
And the black people come in sexy, so you gotta really protect them. So just letting everybody know. Now, I love the consent speech. It was I've done a consent speech before on like smaller parties. It was different for me doing it in a bigger room, but I'm happy that I had my beautiful hoochie mama right here to help me out doing the consent speech, because I feel like it really hits differently when you have a man and a woman or multiple identities in one space speaking to people and letting people know that we're respecting the consent and the protection of everybody here together. Right? It's not just a man hosting the party, or it's not just a woman hosting the party. So it kind of makes one gender feel at an advantage sometimes when it's just one person. I just like the fact that it's both of us there to speak to the people.
Yeah, like there was other things where you said like, okay, women on women, you have to ask.
Yeah, it's not your homegirls.
Yeah, like
men on women,
women to men, you have to ask. Like specifically, like you said, usually it's going to be a focus on like men don't touch women.
Right.
But even like ladies be handsy with other ladies. So that was like the way you covered everything, because there was a large pause and I was like, he's not gonna say it, he's not gonna say it, and then you do it and I was like, like I was actually cheering. My
Don't touch the men just because they're men. Nothing men like finally no molestation.
The amount of I heard from the men in the crowd.
I'm like, damn, are the women out here predatized?
Like legit, it'd be like that sometimes. So, like, especially if you got long hair, they'd be like, "Can I touch your hair?" No, you can't touch my hair.
So other than that, how was it upstairs in your section of the party?
Man, so again, when I get there, it's there's nobody in there, and I was like, man, they put me away from everybody. This is whack. Like that's what I first thought. I get up there, and like Erica's there. She's the masseuse, and I've worked with her. I was at her previous party, and she had me.
Shout out to Erica. What's her Instagram?
E is for erotic.
E is for erotic, yes.
Yeah. So she had me at her previous party, and I was doing the same thing, doing tarot, and she didn't have a chance to do massage because she was all over the place talking to everybody. So it was awesome to get to actually work with her this time. I think her room was booked up the whole time.
Yeah.
So when it's when people are starting to trickle in, I was like, oh man, this isn't gonna. Whatever. Then the activation happens, and everybody in the room is all up there at once. And I was actually given a reading to.
Fire.
And I was like, I pulled out 12 cards for him. He was like, what do you think about my life next year? I was like, let's do this, right? So I pull out 12 cards. I was like, okay, so March is going to be like this. April's going to be like this, right? So I was stoked. So I'm giving the, that's when she starts. And then at first she starts like, okay, we're all going to inhale the smoke and cleanse our bodies. And I was like, all right, we're getting high. Cool. Right? And then, the way that she held the space, it felt like that was exactly what it needed to start the party. It was like an activation, like the way that she was, speaking to us and how she was like holding the energy. I felt like is really necessary, especially when people are about to get into some shenanigans.
Yeah.
Like if you just like, all right, go. There's not a protection in that way of making sex feel sacred. And that's what I really appreciated about the space, was that there was like a spiritual element to that. And like I said, usually it's just free for all, just go for it. And I will most often not even participate. I love to go, and I like to like hang and be there because I'm a pervert, so I like that type of stuff. But I usually do not participate unless unless I meet people who are on the same wavelength as me, and I don't go there just like, okay, where are the spiritual people? Where is the cool people? Right. I just kind of let it happen. So the fact that it felt like everybody in there was like that, I was like, okay, this is actually kind of like, I wish I wasn't vending right now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm happy that you got to experience that and see Michaela like do that. I actually 100% missed the activation, running around and being everywhere, but I heard that it was.
I didn't realize she had done it in like a group setting, which is dope. I'm happy. I'm happy that.
Yeah, I think she had like 30 people up there.
No, it was way more than that.
Whoa.
Really?
Yeah.
That's where everybody was. I was walking around
I was
like,
wondering, where's everybody?
Did we fuck up? Like, did we not sell enough tickets?
It had to be like the whole party was there.
Yeah. I know, because at first I was like, where the fuck is everybody?
Because we were like shoulder to shoulder.
Okay.
Like we could hardly move. It was like everybody's in there. She's leading the joint. It's a whole thing. It's like a cloud of puff.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's gotta look amazing. And then in the visuals, like your setup itself with the, I think you had a neon light.
Yeah, had a black light.
Your corner setup was stand
I know. I went up there. I was like,
you knew you were up there.
Yes.
I was like, that's my friend.
I'm gonna be. Nah, that was beautiful. So we got you to come to. Well, you reached out to Milah to come to the party for a reason, because you had something to offer. What is it that you offer to the people?
Okay, so yeah, that's what I offer is the ability to understand what your birthright is. So this is a part of magic, esoteric learnings, teachings. I always say it's just it's what you were supposed to learn. It's like what your ancestors wanted you to know. And, with colonization, a lot of those things have been called witchcraft. They're throwing words on it. I just call it your birthright. This is what you should be doing. You can get information through these cards or shells, bones I have over here. This is just called divination. Divination is an ability to peek into the future. It doesn't mean that is your future. It's just judging from the energy that you're giving me at the moment, this is how your life is projected to go. So now that you can be aware of what it is, you can either change it or you can allow that course to continue.
Tools, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah. There's always ways to peer in and to get answers from the other side, I feel like. And like we put so many labels on whether they're good or bad or acceptable in these realms of religion or whatever you grew up with socially, but essentially it's like, of course there's different ways to pray.
Yeah, but not only that, you're getting the information all the time anyway.
Right, but whether or not you're acknowledging it or accepting it, it's just like you think about someone and then they call.
Yeah, or like when you're driving down the street and you see 888 or something like that, like people are all over the angel numbers, and I'm like, that's witchcraft, guys.
Duh. Even as a child, like I remember asking, like this is like a game I made up in myself. It was like I would ask a question and like I would look up on a sign, a billboard, like if I was driving in the back seat, and if I saw a Y in it or an N, then that would be the that's
divination. That's another form.
I was like, this is what it is, so this is what I want to make it be. I remember doing a lot of those things as a child, like just making my own ways of like communicating with.
So you've always been tapped in.
I mean, yeah,
I'm the chosen one.
I've been like a little witchy bitch since childhood, and as an adult, I realize now how like those are, and I think also as children, we're more rooted in it. We've been less diluted with socially what's acceptable, and so we're coming in straight from source.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're actually closer to the beginning. You're closer to death in that way. Is that?
Well, you're closer to whatever is on the other side of the veil.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, God, essentially, whatever God is to you, spirit, and so whatever you're supposed to be in tune with, you're gonna have less questions about it. Like, oh, duh, I could ask a question and look up at the billboard and get the answer.
People literally have to tell you you're fucking up, and you're like, after hearing it for so many years, and I guess I am, but the goal is to stay like a child. If you stay childlike, then this information will always be accessible to you.
Amen. And even in relationships, and even in relationships that are not romantic, even in like family ships, I feel like divination has been used in a lot of ways for guidance, and I think we've lost our way in that. Using it personally, and in partnership.
Yeah. Wink, wink.
Speaking of partnership, I actually pulled out a spread for you guys.
Okay, let's.
Yeah, so I did pull a set of cards. I call this the Kaoz Cross. It's just like a Celtic cross. So if you guys are like, that looks like a Celtic cross, because it is. Anyways, but I call it the Kaoz Cross because I put a little extra sauce. So what we're going to talk about is how this pertains to your relationship. Yeah, so the first card is actually under here. So I'm going to pick it up for you guys. And it's the King of Swords in reverse. So the King of Swords when it's right side up, is a very logical, tactical king that understands how to use their blade to swiftly cut or communicate, make deals. This person is very calculated. When it is upside down, they are far less calculated. They are more like reckless. They're in the sense of like charge, gung-ho, going in. So it's saying that the reading essentially is saying either the energy could be imbalanced in the fact that somebody could be taking over in a way that could be upsetting the other.
What's so funny?
Nothing.
Why? What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
Who do you think is taking over?
Nobody.
Right. So that's the sums up the whole reading. So it's saying that would be the challenge that would have to be managed or balanced or accepted in order for this to keep going in a smooth way. So now the next card is the what you're going against, what you're up against. And
that's my favorite card.
The devil?
Yeah.
Why
Are you a Capricorn?
No, I'm Aquarius.
You're a Capricorn moon, though.
I'm a Capricorn moon.
Okay, that's the Capricorn card.
Nice.
So that's how you like it.
Oh, I forgot the Capricorn is the devil. The go ahead.
Because they're assholes. No, I'm just kidding. My dad's a Capricorn.
They're stuck in their ways.
Yeah. So now this card is saying what is the biggest opposing force that's going against your relationship would be, so the devil card represents like chains that are not actually there but that you believe to be there. So say if you believe that like, oh, I can't lose weight because I have bad habits or something like that, that's a chain, like a chain that you are placing upon yourself that you could break if you decided to.
Oh, like an attachment that you're
Correct.
holding on to. Gotcha.
Yeah, you can even see that they're like attached to this monster.
Yeah.
Right, which is the devil, and they're like, "Oh no, I'm trapped," and it's like those chains aren't actually real. And the devil's also not real. You made it up.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm afraid because the devil made me do it, and it's like, well, the devil's not real. You made the devil up.
The fear is not real.
Correct. Exactly.
You're bounded by something that's not a make believe.
Yeah, you made up the bound. So what's even fun? I have another book that I love. It's called Existential Kink. Shout out to, I can't remember the name of the author, but I should find that out. Is that it says like the existential kink is like, you know how and kink in the sense of like, remember when you used to hate getting whooped and now part of being kinky is like, I like to get spanked, right?
Yeah.
They're saying, what if everything that you hated in life was stuff you actually loved, like traffic?
Like
Sounds
maybe, maybe if you
Yeah.
could meditate in traffic, then you could use it to your ability for silence, or like.
Or what if you were like, if I didn't have traffic, say like when you're driving on the 4th of July and you're like, man, that took so fast. Like, where's the traffic? I have nothing to complain about. I actually really miss complaining.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're getting
So
at.
that's kind of what that is. Now, next, the foundation of the question is up here. So that is the 10 of cups. So you're saying the foundation is like, why did you ask this question in the first place? What is your ulterior motive? Is to be happy. So when it's right side up,
That's usually good, but it's not.
This is the happiest card in the deck. Like, this is the most successful one could be.
There's like two. It's like a family, like a happy family and a sunrise.
It's getting, yeah, exactly. It's getting everything that you ever wanted is what that card is. But when it's upside down, it means that you actually have it already and you're just complaining.
You're already there. Okay,
You're like, you have, or you're on the trajectory, but you're just not being grateful. You're not like showing the gratitude towards one another. So the ulterior motive could be you're wanting to like, how do I have more happiness? And it's like, well, you already have it. You just have to practice acknowledging it.
This reminds me of one time where I told Milah, you're already loved. You need to start acting like it.
Yeah. but that goes back to we like to complain. We like to be unhappy. There's a part of us.
it's an attachment.
Yeah.
We love to be unhappy.
There's an attachment to the struggle, and if you don't have it, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, if things are too easy, you're like, I'm not working hard enough. I must
Work harder.
Exactly. Now let's go to the fourth card. What is in your recent past? Justice.
Okay.
Balance, in the sense of perhaps things have been uneven and that there needs to be balance. In the sense of maybe there is some more roles taken on by you that Orlando does not take on, or vice versa. And perhaps doing a little bit of what the other one does could kind of like walk a mile in their shoes, so you can actually see man, this is actually a lot harder than I think. And again, it goes back to this gratitude.
Being clear and about whose responsibilities are whose, and just having graciousness for the other responsibility of the other person.
Correct.
Right.
Boom.
Balance.
Yeah, balance, or that's still going to go back to gratitude, because balance doesn't necessarily mean I want to do that. Like, do you want to take the trash out in the middle of the night? Absolutely not.
I've never taken the trash out.
Exactly.
In 1 year.
In 1 year.
Maybe once.
And no, you've never solely taken the trash out since I've been here. No. Yeah.
My trash key doesn't even work.
It doesn't even, yeah, that's how you know you don't take out the trash.
And see, and I imagine there's something that Orlando doesn't do that you always do.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right. So in that regard, like I said, it's not about being equal, because I think a lot of people man, we have to be equal in an equal, type of situation. I do not agree with that. I think you do what you do well, and I do what I do well, and that is equality.
Right.
I agree. Yes.
Because we're not good. Like, if you say, hey, you cook, I'm not gonna wait. You're the cook, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but I was like, because with me, I'm not good at it. So if my girlfriend's like, hey, you cook tonight, I'm like, no, that's gonna suck for both of us.
We're gonna order, right?
Yeah. It's better if you do that,
right.
and I do what I do well, and I play the guitar very well. So
yeah, I will say there's something that I don't think I've ever told you that you do well and you bring balance to. It's like your hesitation. Because I'm a very gun ho, let's do it, and then I'll just figure it out as I'm going along. And your hesitation and second thought to things makes me go, all right, let me look at this a little differently, and maybe I can optimize on this before I go into it. So most times before we get into something, Milo, right before I go, wait, let's think about this. And then at that moment, it made me analyze, because right before is we're already done, it's finished, it's time to start it. And then it'll make me analyze the totality of it before I go into it. So yeah, that's something that you balance me out on.
No, do you want to share something that Orlando balances you out on?
I take the garbage out. And I cook. I roll.
Yeah.
She hasn't rolled weed in 2 years.
I rolled weed yesterday for Kaoz. We smoked weed and I rolled it.
Oh.
Yeah, in the loft. Oh my God, that was the most beautiful space.
That was
Just a bunch of pillows. I was like, oh.
The cuddle pocket.
The cuddle pocket. You got to come back there and do shrooms. That's
Yeah.
where it's for.
I'm so down.
And we have a projector for movie night. We had to get it jump started again.
Yeah, we're gonna do it again.
I would love that. All right, so moving on, we have that was the recent past. Now we have the potential around you. So the potential around you is we did this yesterday, and I was telling you basically what could happen, right? What is capable of happening. This card is the waiting card. This is the person who has tilled all the soil. They've done all the things that they need to do for that particular season, and now they're just waiting. So you could be impatient when it's upside down. right?
I'm impatient.
Yeah, it's that you're basically well, I put the seeds in the ground. Why is the shit not growing yet?
I think we both are impatient.
We're both impatient.
But we take
That's the funny
turns,
thing.
you know?
Yeah, we take turns
when
doing
he's
things.
getting, I'm like, listen, relax. We've done a lot. Things have happened. And then when I'm getting he's like, listen, relax. We take turns, but both of us overall have been impatient.
We have our different things that we're impatient about, and that we have we give grace about. So,
yeah. And I would say, well, that works in that sense, but also wonder why am I so impatient? And whenever I'm impatient, it's because can I get a little morbid here? I think I'm going to die tomorrow. So
the world's ending tomorrow, kind of impatient.
Yeah, so I have.
I
to
mean,
do
at this
everything.
rate, it just might be.
Yeah, right. And I'm
we're not very far off now, guys.
So I was I have to do everything now, right? So that could be. I was I gotta win a Grammy tomorrow. I gotta.
Or else I'll die on Thursday.
Yeah. So if you could you know, beautiful things take a long time to develop, and that doesn't mean stop doing things, because you're still tilling to the land. You're still like doing things in motion, or you can always set that aside and start a new thing that has low stakes. I know, like, from a lot of people around my age, they feel like everything they do has to be monetized. So as soon as they pick up a new hobby, they're like, I have to put this on YouTube. I have to start making money like now. And then they suck the fun out of everything.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like enjoying the journey.
Right.
How do you enjoy the journey? Because a lot of times, I mean, we live in California. Shit's fucking expensive. LA is expensive. So we're like, what the fuck is the point if it's not making me money? You know? And it keeps us from connecting with people. Yeah. It keeps us from connecting with the art. It keeps us from connecting with like the passion and the joy, which I do believe is like essentially what brings the money. When you're in true joy and pleasure, the monetary gain will come because energetically you're in pleasure of doing it. But if it's constant, like, where's the money? The money's like, fuck that bitch. I'm going the other way. That bitch is desperate.
You're scaring the money away.
Scaring the hose away, bitch.
Right.
So there's an energetic, patience that needs to happen so that it comes with ease. I think ease.
Correct. Which brings me to the next card This is what happens next. So this is the Hanged Man. So now when the Hanged Man's this way, it means you are free. You're free balling. You're hanging out. You're embracing your weirdo, right? When it's upside down, though, it's saying that you're gonna experience a period of feeling stuck for a little bit until you, again, in my opinion, go back to these things of learning more patience and having more gratitude. I believe you're going to feel stuck as long as you are still going through that.
You're not practicing gratitude.
Yeah, you'll just feel like you're doing stuff. You're out there, but you're kind of spinning your wheels because you're still looking for the outcome to happen quicker. And you're like, why is nothing happening? Nothing's happening, but things are happening. But again,
you just haven't sat down to see like the fucking the beautiful scenery.
Yeah, and I would say like go to the beach on those days.
Yeah.
And like actually be out in nature, and I wouldn't say turn your phone off, but like,
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, like for an hour and just actually chill and enjoy life because everything else is fake. All this other shit's fake. And you get out there and you're like, yes, the ocean, huh? And then you come back and I guarantee you somebody's like, hey, we have a $50,000 offer.
Right. I mean, you'd be surprised.
Yeah. It's so funny because recently when I've like had days when like shit is feeling like I'm in a rut or not really bad days, but shit just happens. I would just be like, at least you can see the mountains.
Yeah.
The day of the party, we were stressed out and we're like, but look, it's nice outside. I was like, it is.
It's nice outside.
Palm trees are palming.
Yeah, I was like, we live in like a paradise.
Right, we do.
I feel like everything's going to be good as long as you live here because
like, go on a hike, bitch. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was like, look, in New York, it snows in the winter. Like, we don't ever have to deal with that. It doesn't really go below 60 degrees here.
No, it really doesn't. And then in New York, you also got to deal with like seasonal depression. So when fall comes, it's
and
coming.
Rats.
Yeah. And we don't got none of that.
We can just avoid downtown
and look at the mountains. Just look up.
Yeah, we know all the crimes happening. Just don't go there. What are you doing in that neighborhood?
Right.
It's like I feel like LA is a lot easier than most other cities.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Minus this fucking cost of living.
That part.
We pay for the scenery.
Yeah. So the next card is the energy of the person asking the question, right? So this is saying, and it's funny because this is what you guys are doing. It's that you're wanting to partner on a career choice. So the people that are asking is like, what would make this relationship more solid is diving more and deeply into your business together.
Huh.
See, I told you.
More podcast episodes coming up. Just you wait.
Or like more events. Like there's a plethora of ways that you guys could go about.
So interesting. I know. This event we just did was really stressful in ways, just because there's a lot of pressure for it to perform. Because you're in a party, there's nobody there, everyone's gonna notice, right? It's just like if you do a show and nobody comes, you're like, you still got to do the fucking show, So,
but see, I think the difference between, because like I'm glad that you said that, is if I've played in front of 5 people and I play the same same way as if I played in front of 5,000 people. Like, and it's different because I didn't book the venue. So I'm not losing money.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and there was no money lost, but there was the level of like, is this something I want to continue to do? But outside of that, the joy of like completing something together in partnership. This is like, I mean, outside of the podcast, is like the first event. You know, we do stuff at our house, but like the first event that we did together, and I think like the completion of that, even though I've been tired for 3 days, has felt really fulfilling. You know what I mean? So,
but I thought you guys really knocked that out of the park. I did not know that was your first event together. I thought you guys had been doing it because you guys work together so well. I was very impressed.
So we've been told.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's potential for maybe me to work with you more. I'll think about it.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
All right. So now the outside influences. What is influencing you guys outside is...
What is that, the Three of Cups?
It's the Three of Cups.
But reversed.
Yeah, and I always read it right side up first and then hit you with the woody-do. It's funny that way. Because when I always think you have the potential to reverse it. When it is reversed, I think that is your perspective, and that if you correct your perspective,
that is actually the other way.
So seeing it the way that it should be, I believe, helps you understand the course correction that you need to make to get it that way.
You've done a lot of given me a lot of helpful tarot tips in the last 2 days.
That's a personal sauce. I've never heard anybody else say that,
but it makes sense.
Yeah, right. I was like, it makes sense to me.
Things aren't naturally upside down.
Yeah,
they first have to be upside down for you to even visualize them. Right side up. So yeah.
Or I believe you always have the opportunity to, because like I said, this is not a suggestion, but this is telling you where you're at.
The potential, yeah.
Right. So I always like say it would, change your perspective. Like somebody's like I had a lady recently tell me, I don't think I'll ever get a man. I said, you just lost. You
just told should told the whole universe you don't need a man. So you probably won't now.
I said you win. I was like, actually, you won not having a man. That's what you wanted.
You won last place. Good
job.
Yeah.
She's like, that's not what I wanted. I was like, you literally just told me that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, if I'm ever doing any type of work, I would never say the opposite of what I wanted. I'm gonna only say
because I know my words have power energetically, vibrationally, and so some things I just will. Even if I want to say it, I'd be like, I'm not gonna say it. Never mind.
But see, you said it subconsciously. It's the
same thing, right?
Yeah. But that's why I was saying course correction. It's allowing yourself to hear what your thought is, to hear the thought, and say, yes, I do feel that way. But now I need to not feel that way.
Right.
If I want to be successful, because I clearly don't want to be successful, as that's what I'm thinking.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. This reminds me. I was like editing our the clips for our episode this week, and it's with Danny Santos. He did an astrology reading for us, and it reminds me when Milah was trying to break up with me. And I was like, I'll call you back.
Literally.
You sit on that. I'm going to call you back. I'm going to call you back. It was like, it never happens. So it's like, yeah, I hear you, but I'm going to course correct this, and I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
My homegirl was like, did you break up with him? I was like, I did, but I don't think he took it. I don't think he accepted it. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, he just called me back like nothing happened.
Yeah, I took the reverse and put it
right side up. Reverse.
You reverse, I reverse it right back. Good.
But that's again, it's like the card is saying this, but you're like, that's not what I heard. I heard the opposite of that.
And so look, here we are, fucking 2.5 years later.
So but let's talk about what this reverse is. The outside influences are then when it's this way, it's saying the outside influences are actually great community. It's about having like the love and support of your community. But when it's this way, it's that you're either not reaching out, you're not. I think we had this yesterday.
I was going to say, this sounds familiar.
Yeah,
but it looks different because we had a different deck.
It was a different card, though, but it was the same message.
Okay.
The message was that you're looking to people who are not paying attention to you, and you should be focusing on the people who are already paying attention to you. It was the Four of Cups, and that's actually like looking at someone else. When it's right side up, it's I'm not having gratitude for the things in front of me, but this is more specific to community and saying that this is the community that you're supposed to have, but you are looking at either different or you're like just blocking yourself from being in the community, which I think that maybe have something to do with the lifestyle thing.
I'm not in the lifestyle. I just throw these
You don't
parties.
need to be. You can be an ally.
I am. I'm a lifestyle ally. Lifestyle adjacent. Lifestyle adjacent.
See, I always say because I would say I'm not homosexual, but straight dudes are gonna look at me like that. So I'm queer. Like I am. Like,
and queer is such a strange word because it's just like whatever. It's like that's like
But it's like if you don't fit there, because I was like, I'm not gay and I'm not bisexual. But if the gay straight war happened, I'm not gonna get drafted on the straight side. Literally, they're gonna be like, nah, fuck that guy.
Is that his belly button?
No. Yeah, nah.
Absolutely not.
Right? And then like in the gays, they're gonna be like, yes, please.
Come on up.
Here's a rainbow.
Soldiers.
You like pussy? It's fine.
Like, you know, I mean, like that's how I see it. So, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. Ish.
Yeah.
When you said that yesterday about the community, I'm like, but I feel like I know my tribe. I feel like they're here. I feel like I'm in the right place. I'm like, maybe I need to dig deeper.
Well, I think because you have many things that are
on.
going on. So you have the women's retreat that you were telling me about. That I feel like you're like really super tapped in to that. But this is relatively new, right?
Yeah, this is new. This podcast, this partnership in business is new.
So imagine you haven't discovered it 100% yet, because we were having another. I'm not gonna put your business out there. But you were talking to me about not feeling like this was a safe route to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe it is the route you should go because it feels the scariest.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about the liabilities of having lifestyle parties.
Well, not just that, but I just mean in general. Like you have the degree that you just
got.
my
sexologist and tantric practitioner.
Yeah, you were like, oh, I'm not like really getting out there with the clients, and I was like, I feel like that's not really a thing. I feel like everybody is like, I really want you, but you were like, no. You're kind of like pushing it back a little bit.
Yeah, just trying to figure out what I want to do in that space, and a little bit of fear, a little bit of hesitation because I have a lot of other shit going on. But yeah, it probably does need to just delve right in.
Yeah, that's what I was gaining off of that though. Is that's the community that you might be wanting to lean in just a little bit, like not get too crazy. Now this is what spirit thinks, what the universe thinks about what you guys are doing. Together.
What?
Because he sees the card.
It's the fool.
Yeah.
Spirit thinks your relationship is foolish.
You guys are dumb. No, I'm just kidding.
These two fools.
Actually, what this means is that you guys could be more curious about each other.
Yeah.
Is that the fool signifies that you don't know anything. You want to act as though you don't know anything. So you want to come to a situation, even today. Like, I don't know this person. Not like, oh, man, I know how you are. Like, I know your tendencies. You like to do this, and this. Yeah, that's sometimes, but sometimes we think we know a partner so well that we don't allow them to speak. So they could have changed within 24 hours and have a different outlook on something. And if we're like, I know you're just going to be the same old person, and you don't give them an opportunity to grow. And that goes both ways. Like, you both want to be more curious about each other is what this is saying.
You put people in a box and we think we've made all the, the right distinctions. Like, I know who you are. And then maybe they're a different person, but because I've put you in this box, it's hard to see you for the rest of the things that you could possibly be unfolding.
Exactly. Like, I like teriyaki sauce today. I don't want any more Sioban. I've changed my toothpaste. Like, simple things like that are evolution. Like I said, we just, we want to pretend like those are like, oh, what? You're changing your socks? That's not a big deal. It's a big deal for some of us to, like, make a difference. Like, when I first started dressing like with my belly button out, that's new. I was always very self-conscious. Like, if you see pictures of me when I was younger, I was fully clothed. I used to take showers with all of my clothes on.
What?
Wait.
Like at Astro Camp. Did you guys go to Astro Camp?
No.
Okay. Wait. I did go to Astro Camp.
Right, so you know how you would go in the room and everybody had a little shower area, and but it was like wide open, so you would like potentially see a kid's butt. And I was like, you're not gonna see my butt. I'm gonna wear all of my clothes. I was like,
I do know what you mean now. Yes.
Right, so it wasn't until I started to like, do more, become more of myself when I really started to be this person. I was like, I have to stop thinking about what other people think because they're only gonna be limited by what they know.
Yeah.
And if I am even like, I have to be curious about other people too, so I can learn more about myself. Because I'm probably changing and not allowing myself to change because I'm afraid.
And also, like, we were talking about this too, like our assumptions of people. Like you're like, a lot of people think I'm gay, and I was like, I probably thought that. And then you're like, he's like, I was with my girlfriend, and then all these things that we talked about, that I was like, I had no idea that this was the person that you were, beyond the cards, beyond just Instagram, really, like just in passing, like our initial perspective of people, I mean, it's judgmental. We're basing it on what we think we know. We're basing it on other people that fit this description. We're basing it on, like, that's the human nature, is to make assumptions, which is a judgment based on other people we've met and other experiences we've had that are obviously limited. And people are individuals, and so we think we know everything about them, and then we sell ourselves short because we cut ourselves off from the opportunity to get to know them at face value. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And lastly, the outcome. What will be the outcome of this relationship? Yes.
That man looks sad.
Well, what it's
I've
saying,
seen this one.
yes, they are sad, but it's more so saying that it will be frustrating, but that will not stop you either of you from working together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, this will not be easy, but it will be worth it.
Was that the Nine of Swords?
The Nine of Swords is actually, it's a similar energy, is that you still feel defeated. That's what it is. So it's saying that it will not be easy. Mm-hmm. But
this is the second reading we've had this month.
Third.
That's third.
It's a third. All our readings have said that our relationship, like, it will pose a challenge, but if you want to overcome these challenges, then it's going to be magical. It's going to be great in every type of way.
And I think that those are the best. If it's too easy, is it really worth it?
Yeah, if it's too smooth, is it really interesting?
You won't
I
even
don't
want
know.
to do
I'm
it.
black. Give me some easy.
well, I feel like that's the thing, is that our relationship is easy, and that if these, like, all of these forces and all of these, like, opposing things, if we keep the track of, like, working on our relationship, it is going to show itself and continue to be easy. And if we don't, then it's going to show up. You're going to start seeing that it's a lot harder to maintain than it actually is.
And if I can chime in on, because you guys have things going on outside of your relationship that makes it difficult. If any of those, if you guys are not gelling, then it can make it difficult for you to pursue your other things. So it's not necessarily that you guys have a hard time with each other. It's that the outside forces could be what makes it challenging for you.
Yeah, we have a lot of relationships in this one. We have business relationships. He works for us, in my other business. We work together in this business. We work together in this, these event spaces that we're doing. So yeah, there are a lot of elements to just this relationship, and bills and family and parenting. There's a lot of elements to our relationship that can ultimately, if we just went to work separately and hadn't had a boss and we got our checks and we came back and we made dinner, there was not all these things that were together, it would probably be easier to manage. But when you add on all these other elements, it does require that we do it with care, or else
put more effort towards making sure that it's maintained in a level where there's still like love, care at the level that we like it to be. Like, it's not gonna like break down and go any lower than the standard that we want it to be, even with all these things. And that's why I think that, like, our relationship is so special, because we have separate things that we do, but a lot of our things, like, gel and mesh together. So we have to figure out a way to, like, still maintain. And we've kept our love and respect at a high level for all of these things to also be moving at the same time, in my opinion.
It's true. It's true. There's a lot of intersections in this motherfucker.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that is what's gonna make a relationship challenging. Like you said, if it was just you guys, going to different bosses and coming home, it'd be super easy.
You'd be like, it might be too easy. Like, goddamn, it's the easiest shit we ever did. Like the Brady Bunch over here.
Right, but what brings this to me is because this is the type of stuff that needs to happen, right? Like the spaces that you guys create, these type of podcasts, these things are like necessary for the culture. So, having, like, I would call you guys like exalted lovers. You have to have a powerful understanding of each other, because you have like a higher purpose of what your work is to do.
That's another thing we were told.
Yes.
That we have, like, together, specifically, we have like a higher purpose, or we're meant to be an example for others to see, but not like to look up to as if like in a godly form, but to look at and go, okay, I see how they're doing
possible. It. Yeah. Or like, especially like you're both black, like, to see that you're working with each other in so many ways. Most people are like, I can't work with my partner, man. He's too blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So we hear a lot going on.
But when you see it, you're like, I don't have that problem. Like, people need to see that. Like, I don't have that problem, meaning that because we're essentially breaking our generational curses by allowing this, by cultivating it, not just, working on it, but you guys do so much work, like just interacting together as much as you do. Like I said, when I saw you guys at the play party, I was like, man, there's no two people I would have wanted to hear that speech from.
I just met them, but I love that's who I need to hear
that
from.
was what made me really
that's a
love
very
you
big
guys.
compliment. Thank you so much.
They care together. They don't. This is not like, this is her thing, this is his thing. It was like they were like, okay, we're gonna do this together. And I was like, that's what people need to see more from Black communities. Like, we're together. It's not like they're doing that on their own and they're doing that on their own. We're like, no, we work together.
Yeah, we're in flow, and we're in respect of like each of our talents and our tools and how we can work together to make them happen. And that's why I said walking away from the event, even though we were super tired, even like all the things that we're still new in this space, it did feel really good to be like, we did it, and and that's true. Like sometimes we downplay it because it's just like we're just working together, we're just in love and throwing a party, but even at the party, I had this interesting interaction with this man on the dance floor, and it was a Black guy, and like I don't know, he just came up, and I was just saying, how was your time? How are you feeling? And he was just like, he was just like, I'm just trying to like feel comfortable. And I just took a second and we did a little exercise on the dance floor. And, I touched his chest and I looked at him and I was like, let's just breathe together for a minute. You guys want to do it with me? Sure. And at first he was like, what the fuck? And I was like, it's okay. Just like release with sound. Inhale. If you're in the car, you should try it. It feels good. If you're just listening, inhale, exhale with sound. And we just did it for a few times, and I noticed like he kind of walked away abruptly, but I felt a tear on my shoulder, and I was like, is he crying? And I went to him in the corner. He was going towards the bathroom, and I was like, are you okay? He's like, what did you just do to me? And I was like, I didn't do anything. I just, we just connected, and I was like, it's okay. Like, it's okay to, I was like, to feel like energy just moved. And he's just like, I don't know what just happened. And I was hugging him. I was embracing him. And as I was hugging him, Orlando must have walked up behind me, and he saw him, and he's like, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. And I was just like, yo. And I was like, am I in trouble? Shit. Like, did he just wave it, like, pull a fist on you? I was like, is he mad? Shit.
Mind you, I was minding my business. I was like, I need to use the bathroom. Now I need to get the fuck out my way.
But just in general, as Black people, the interactions between genders, the opposite gender has been so strictly, this means this,
sexualized.
So sexualized. Not only have we been sexualized individually, but by each other. Like when he had that reaction, literally my first reaction was like, damn, is he mad? Even though I knew that he wasn't. And I was like, it's okay. I was like, he's fine. Everything's fine. I was like, he's fine. And like, eventually he came back over, and I was like, oh, he's whatever. And we hugged him together, and I think he needed that. But we underestimate the power of just seeing and just connecting, just saying, hey, breathe. Hey, are you okay? Hey, let's, my boyfriend's right here, and it's all good. Like we're all in community here. And sometimes people just need to witness it, witness someone else care, witness someone else look at them.
Because they only seen it otherwise. They seen, like, you look at their girl and they're like, or they do have ulterior motives, and they don't understand that it's like I've seen a person's mind change where they may have had an ulterior motive, and then they see me and my girlfriend, and that I don't trip about it, and they're like, you're not gonna trip? Oh man, I'm sorry. Like in a sense of, if I would have tripped, they would have been like ready to fight me.
Right.
But because I'm like, it's all good, bro. I know she's pretty.
And of course you feel this way, and I know where we stand. So there's nothing so I trust this bitch. There's nothing, ain't nothing you can do, know. And so and it does. It becomes an example, and come to find out that man is married, and like we are going to work together and all those things. But it's just like these very small things that we don't think are that important, that we kind of like sweep our own gifts under the rug, like had he not reacted that way, even like not about Orlando, but just about like his like being like his mask coming off and being able to be vulnerable for that quick second, I wouldn't have known that he needed that support or that love or whatever, that connection. And it's just like, it's important that we connect and we remember to be like, hey bro, Look at me.
But what are the odds that it was you that he saw at that particular time on the dance floor? It could have been anybody else, and maybe nobody else would have had the wherewithal to do that. Because if he would have did that shit to me, I would have been like, hey, bro, back up.
Bitch, I don't want to breathe. So. And I've had people be like, I'm like totally like, I'm not, so I don't want to be in whatever weird shit you're doing. I can see them like, okay, bitch, you know? Yeah. And at first I was like, is he like thinking I'm weird? But then I noticed like there was a wall coming down, you know, and it was necessary. But these are the opportunities we miss when we don't just tap into each other. And he told me after I spoke to him, he was like, I came out looking for something. I've been seeking something. I haven't felt anything in a long time. And I felt something, and I was like, that's beautiful. And like that lets you know that there's potential to feel more, you know. And so
it's scary for some people, like you said, they're not feeling, what they're realizing is that they are actually closing themselves off from feeling. It's not that they are not feeling, it's that they are afraid to feel because of feeling has been stigmatized, like especially like for black men, you know, where like it's like, and I'm a feelings ass nigga, like,
but if you're told don't feel, stop crying like a little bitch.
I don't care. I'm a bitch. No, I'm fucking sad. Leave me alone.
But from childhood, if it's been programmed and programmed, you literally won't even know how to respond. Yeah, your body will shut down the tear ducts that make you fucking cry because you're like, fuck all that.
And then they respond, like you said, like energetically, they're like, what do I do?
Literally, it was like it was literally like he almost glitched. He was like, I don't know what happened. Like you would have thought I put fucking like I did some kind of wizardish shit on him.
Kind of did.
I mean, I did, but like not really, you know. And he was just like, he literally was like, looked at me, and was like, what the fuck did you just do? Yeah. What just happened? I was like, I didn't do anything, bro. Like I just looked at you.
You did everything,
right?
Everything. You saw somebody that's had problems being seen. It's not very easy for somebody to like realize and do.
And it might be easy for you because that's your gift. You know, like it's easy for me to tell people what these things do, but you know, I like I said, I don't connect to people in that way. I do with music, but not in a breathing exercise. I couldn't. I would have anxiety.
And sometimes, and he did have anxiety a little bit, and I was like, it's cool, and I was like, it's okay that you're feeling, like, let it happen. I was like, you want to talk right now, and you want to like, I was like, but just let yourself feel however you're feeling. Just sit in it for a second. And you know, sometimes it requires someone to tell you that, like, relax your shoulders, you know, relax your jaw, just sit. And then you're like, suddenly things start to come up that you never felt before, just because someone literally told you shut the fuck up and just let it happen. So yeah, lovely. All types of things can happen when you say yes and you're open to them.
Yeah.
All right, what did you guys think of your reading? So overall, I'll just give you a recap.
Okay.
It's saying that balance, gratitude, patience, allowing yourself to be free, embracing community, building on your relationship as far as work goes, being curious, and understanding that it will be difficult. How do you feel overall?
I like this. So what's special about this month is usually we've had all of these readings like in separation, and so now we're getting these readings together, and we've come to realize that we've created like our own entity when it comes to like us being together. And so this is like our relationship is like our baby or our child, and like when we're getting these readings it's like for this whole separate entity. So it's amazing to see all of this come together when it's in relation to both of us, because like how we did the astrology reading, how we did the shadow work reading, now we're doing a tarot reading, they've all been in somewhat type of similarities all together in reference to like both of us at the same time, or our entity. So I'm really enjoying the consistency and everybody hearing and it being recorded, the consistency in our relationship in a spiritual aspect.
And in ways I think it's a good insight to have, just because like you said, I don't think any relationship is going to be necessarily easy, you know, if you go into it. I mean, I think it is easy. Relationships should be easy. You should want to do them. A lot of times we go against go against the grain. It's like, bitch, that's not your person. But what we've gotten consistently is like, there will be challenges, but if you can get through them, then there's a reward. And I think that's an important message to just continuously be planted in our subconscious as we move forward, and as we move towards as we move towards every new year, there will be challenges, but if we stay on the same agenda and if we stay on the same goal, that we know that essentially those challenges are all like temporary, and that there's a greater, there's a greater gift and a greater purpose at the end of it. And I feel that way.
I do want to comment on the easy thing, because I always think about it like, if I wanted to be a more financially lucrative musician, I would not play guitar, because it's hard. You have to pick up and fuck with things every day, and if you don't do it for like a week, then you start to lose your strength.
Right.
Why did I do that? Because I like to suffer, and I mean, in the best way possible, in the sense of like, you strive for greatness because that is what gives you the glory. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, so when I say that if it's not hard, it's not worth it, I don't mean that it has to be hard, like yelling and arguing at each other and stuff like that. I mean that anything that you want to do has a challenge, and there's a fulfilling challenge in doing it. And I think that we leave that part, like we try to, once we get into a relationship, sometimes, I'm not saying you guys, but we'll kind of like set it and forget it. Like, okay,
yeah, like now we're together.
Yeah, now I can focus on all the other things that I need to focus on that are not the relationship, right? Because my relationship's supposed to be so easy that the person should never have any concerns, should never want to talk, should never want to work anything out with me, because if they do, they are not my perfect person. No, that's not how that works. It is that you're evolving, she is evolving, you guys are like learning the newest versions of each other every day. It's like getting a new phone every single day, and you're like, oh, this is actually like learning the new software, and you should be stoked about it. Oh yeah, she got a new download. Hell yeah!
Like what is
Let's see what are the new features?
Yeah, right. What can we do with this? Canva got an upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, I didn't know I could do all this. Like that's how, like, her temper's a little shorter today. I brought her green tea. She doesn't like that anymore. Okay, all right. What kind of tea does she like now? Yeah, like if you
not like fuck her. I made the best green tea this week. Yeah,
you're like, no,
go find a new bitch.
If green tea. Oh, you want a new? Like, I'm gonna master that. I don't care. Make it harder. I'm gonna keep doing it.
I'm gonna matcha the fuck out of you, bitch.
But it's exciting. It should be, to me. It should be exciting.
It's just like shadow work. You're like, when things come up, instead of like avoiding them, be like, what is that? I didn't even know this shit would bother me.
That's fun. Like, for me, I'm like, so I study left hand path, and like left hand path is like essentially shadow work all the time. Essentially, you're like, I am the reason I'm here in this. Like, why
I asked to be here. So what are the lessons?
Even
that
like
I
asked to be black. Right, so I would say it's playing life on hard mode. But I'm saying I play life on hard mode. Somebody's like, "Oh, those white folks got it easier." I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that, because I'm playing on hard mode. And I want to beat it. I want to collect all the coins on hard mode.
Right. It doesn't matter if I went on fucking easy. If I'm on level 1 and I fucking won, who gives a fuck?
Right.
But if I'm an expert and I'm on level 12 and I've won, that gives me a whole different level of expertise.
So I'm playing every game. Like me, I'm playing every game on hard mode except for the good-looking one.
Except for that, we got sexy privilege. Okay.
Yeah, but other than that, I was like, I'm gonna make that easy.
It's part of your attributes to get through the game. Like, you choose it harder, you get more attributes, and you can get through the challenges.
Yeah, I was like, I'm getting the XP right now, right? I was like, if I'm not getting the XP, why am I playing the game? You see what I mean?
All you gamers out there, I know you're loving this part of the conversation. They're like, I get it. Now it all makes sense.
Yeah, I was like, go ahead.
No, I was like, but this is important. I think this is important, like in any practice, right? And a lot of the times we don't call our relationships a practice, or we don't have a practice that can help strengthen the relationship. And that's with our kids, that's with our friends, and we get comfortable and we leave it there and we set. And you're my best friend, so you're supposed to be there for me, and you're this, and we just assume that everybody in our life knows what it requires, and that by joining into the partnership is going to automatically grow the partnership. And even what I find with our relationship, even with my knowledge of tantric practitionership, like I have all the tools, I have the medicine cabinet, I have the meditation to go to, and it's like, but do me and Orlando every morning sit up and drink tea and meditate for 20 minutes? No, but should we? Yes. Are those the things that are going to consistently bring us our souls and our consciousness on the same level every day? Like, yes. And those are things that are so super easy practices to do. And sometimes we don't do them because we have kids, because we have fucking 400 businesses, because we have, 400 bills. And sometimes those things become so overwhelming that we forget. But the basis of all of those things, the basis of all those, the success of all those other things is this.
Yes.
And if we can just get simple, and just wake up in the morning and connect quietly and like do the things that we know are going to work that will subconsciously bring us on the same frequency, every other thing is going to follow suit.
It'll become easier. Like you say that, like when you did the shadow work reading with the I don't know, I didn't see that episode.
Bruna, yeah.
But I imagine they told you the same thing, is that essentially the work is in relationship, because that's the true way you see yourself actually. You could do shadow work on your own. You'd be like, okay, I had this happen to me as a child, and that's affecting me in this way. But you're never going to know until you're affected by somebody you actually have an expectation of. Because, and not even your boss, because you're going to say, and not in this case, but like, if I had, somebody that I work for, I'm never going to actually expect them to truly understand me because I am their subordinate. Mm-hmm. But when you believe,
and it's not a chosen relationship. Yeah. You're just Bob from the fucking company. Right. But if you choose your relationship,
there's higher stakes, and like you said, you're not always determining the stakes. And I said that's because we don't speak to each other intentionally. We're kind of like, you're my partner, but I speak to my partner very intentionally. I say we came together for this reason, to execute this plan, and I actually will say this to her almost every day.
And to your partner?
Yeah.
To your girlfriend?
Yeah. And I said partner. Did I say partner?
Don't want to get smacked up.
Right. But I will say that like the intention was for us to come together and bring something new into the world. So I always remind her of that, because we can get, like, well, you didn't bring my favorite orange juice, so you didn't do this, you didn't do that. And I was like, in the grand scheme of things, those things don't matter. I do apologize for getting, because I do understand that it means a lot to you. But ultimately, this is the most important thing that we should be focusing on. And when that is focused on, everything else, it's like the world doesn't even exist, because everything is emanating from our relationship. It's like as long as there's has the peace, then everything else outside is gonna seem easy.
Water this, and the whole garden will grow. And with that in mind, I didn't tell you this, I just thought of it right now. But in August, we're going to do a 7-day challenge where we meditate every morning, and everybody's welcome to come. If you're on Patreon, we'll send you the Zoom link.
7-day journey.
7-day morning
journey.
Morning
meditation is
connection, a morning connection with your partner. So if you want to join Patreon and do that, holler.
It's lit. Do we have anything else today?
No, that was really good. Even though I was like, what the fuck? There's a lot of reverse cards over there.
That's never bad. Like when people see reverse, they get scared.
Or the devil.
Yeah. Well, that's why I love the devil card, because I was like, this is about to be great, because whatever comes after this, after I get through the devil card, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, right. I was like a shadow work thing. I said anything that is reverse tells me that's my blind spot. If I have no blind spots, I'm fucking up. That's like saying, like I'm the smartest person in the room. What do I want that for?
Yeah, who are you with?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I was like,
whoa.
What do I want that for? Yeah. I was like, I would prefer reading with all reverse cards, because I already know what I do well.
Right. Show me where I can improve, because those are the places where I'm not going to be as aware. And if I don't know them, I can't work on them.
Exactly. Yeah. Like this one specifically, like you said, like I already know my community, and I was like, do you?
Right. Apparently, fucking not.
Right. Or there's always more something to do. So,
and that is probably true. Like if I'm trying to get more people to come to this modality or teach them or whatever, obviously I don't know those people yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whew. A breath for that.
That's Milah moans.
One of the things that we do on the show is we dedicate some love to someone. So we want to know if you would like to dedicate any love to anyone while we're here recording now.
Yes, my grandmother passed away recently in May. Thank you very much. And she was a very, very supportive of me being the person I am. Mm-hmm. Like she never said anything about it. She would just be like, "Oh, hey, Kel, nice dress." Nice. Like she was very low key about it. It was, and she was like this about everybody, every single human being that walked into her house. Like I grew up with gang members and shit. Like, she's like, oh hey Chris, I got some candy for you. Set his Glock on the table.
Glock and a peppermint.
Thanks, Granny.
Thanks, Grandma.
Yeah. And she was like all like a friend to all. Like everybody loved this woman, and yeah, she made me very happy. So thank you for giving me the space to do that.
Shout out, Grandma.
Gotta love a grandma who gets it, because a lot of them, doesn't always work out that way for a lot of people. So
I was very lucky.
Yeah. Please, can you share where people can find you and they can get like all these readings or anything that you offer to them?
Absolutely, yeah. So I offer readings, I do some spell work, and I do I can cleanse your room if you like, your house.
Oh, you can? Mm-hmm. What about I don't know if you really want to call it cleansing, but like doing something for the house if there's like a not a grievance, grieving.
Yeah, yeah. That's still like considered a cleansing because
cool.
It's the type of energy that's in there needs to either be because energy doesn't die, it just shifts. So you just want it moved out of there, moved somewhere else. I could do that. What else do? I sell candles. I have candles and even dolls that can be utilized for spell work. You can find me at Kaoz Konjure. That's KAOZ KONJURE on Instagram. I do have a YouTube channel that I have just recently started, and I will be discussing what the cards mean, how to read them. Like I showed you, like very briefly, like with the elements. I use elements, numerology, and basic esoteric symbology that can help you read all the cards either intuitively or with not a lot of information, because some people think I have to be a super master that's been reading for years and years to be able to interpret cards, even just for their friends. But there's easier ways to be able to do this. So yeah, you can find me there. There's a Calendly, you can book me, and I do all types of pop-ups all over Los Angeles.
Nice.
And we're gonna put all of that information in the episode description, so you can come get your love readings too. Yeah. Or your individual.
Yeah. And if you hear our next episode after this one, you're gonna hear why I asked about the grieving and in a home space. So please look out for every episode this month. Like, they're all spiritually amazing. I've really, really enjoyed them. And I want to say I love you, baby.
I love you too.
And I love the entity that we have like grown and nurtured, being together, and it being shown in the cards and the readings and the charts and the stars and all the things.
Well, obviously
I
we're
love
supposed
you
to.
guys
I love
too.
you too. I love you. We love you. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the internet's finding you and bringing us together. I'm big on finding internet friends. I will hoard you.
Right.
I'm already thinking of ways we could do stuff at the house.
No.
Yeah, I was like, I'm your neighbor. I was like, I was like, I'm right there.
Oh, you live in the area.
Yeah,
I
live
right down the street.
Yeah, it was
and I was gonna follow that up with saying that I can see you reoccurring and coming back for another episode on the podcast or in any capacity. So
other events, all types of shit.
Yeah. So if you ever have anything that you want to broadcast or you want to put out there at the time, and you need a space to talk about it,
thank you.
You're welcome to come back. We love you. We love having you here, and we love you here.
Appreciate you.
I am Orlando Roy. You can follow me at WH_Orlando Roy.
And I am Jamila Mapp. You can find me at Milah with an H _MAPP.
Yes.
And I never say this, but I also have a Candidly for discovery calls. If you're looking for a one-on-one tantric practitioner, it doesn't need to be just in relationship, but for yourself and to get through any healing, any trauma that's come up, call me.
I love the wink. And we are on Instagram at hoochie mom and dad. So please pull up, follow us, watch us, and subscribe. Oh, please subscribe. And what's the other thing? Oh, review and comment.
Please review and comment.
Yes, on everything that we do. Doing these things.
It's free. It's free to listen. It's free to just fucking leave a comment and say I liked it. So fucking do it. And I forgot. I'm gonna start threatening you guys because that's the only way to make people do shit these days.
Exactly what my baby said. So yeah, love like this: the before, during, and after of falling in love.
I never knew there was a la like this.